We got a paying gig. We got a paying gig. We got a paying gig. We got some money. It has been a long time since we had a gig, and we are so excited that when we finished, we went in the back room and we got laid.
Yes.
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 9 months.
Yes.
Without a paying gig.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
9 months.
I can't believe it.
We could have had a baby. 9 months without a paying gig.
It has been rough.
And then yesterday we did our first paying gig. And you know, all throughout our career as performers, we've had jobs. Hassan would usually have a day job. I had a night job, and we had our performing job.
We hustled.
And that's what we just did that for so many years. And what made the day and night jobs doable, and the reason we never killed ourselves, was that we also had this performing thing, and we would get some money and we would do our thing. But then the virus hit, and there's been no gigs.
Nothing.
None. So,
Nothing.
you know, you start feeling like
a failure.
Impotent. You
a
feel
loser.
impotent.
Yes.
You know, man thinks right away impotent.
Yeah.
You feel failure, loser. Basically, you couldn't get wet. You couldn't dry
Absolutely.
as the desert.
Yeah.
And then we get a paying gig, and it really made us feel great. And as she said, we sleep in the closet, which is what's behind us there. And last night we did some wild fucking. It was money fucking. You ever notice that there's some money coming in? You fuck better.
You feel better.
So it was a moving.
You're
thing.
more flexible.
You're definitely more flexible, and you feel good. You just feel good, and we felt good.
Yeah.
A paying gig. But let me make it clear, it wasn't a gig. First of all, it was a Zoom gig. It wasn't like we went somewhere and did the gig. We did it, from
right here, pretty much, right here, just like we're doing right now.
Except we were on Zoom instead of this. And whenever you do a gig that's not your gig, we were basically entertainment at a party. So we were part of a group of people who performed, and the person who booked us had seen our show. That person has read our book. He knew exactly what we were going to be like.
That's right.
But we still were trying to do the right thing. We made sure that there wouldn't be children at the gig. We made it clear to the person that we were dealing with, that we're an adult act. And he was, oh no, we can handle it. We can handle it.
Just do you.
Just do your thing. Be yourself.
Be you.
Now, throughout our career, we've heard that many times, and sometimes ourselves is not really
what they wanted. They think they do.
They think they want us to be ourselves, but when they get to see ourselves, they're almost like, oh my God, their selves are just...
You're way too raw, but the show is called Raw, but we're way too raw.
So anyway, we've had this experience through the years.
Yes.
We've had this experience in places where it's hard to believe that we had the experience. A classic story, this went back at least 10 years ago. We used to perform every Saturday night at a club called Sweet Rhythm in New York City.
Yeah.
And after the show, these people came up to us, very nice couple, and they had seen the show and they loved it. And they said that they were going to try to hook us up at a private party. Would we be interested?
And the money was great.
The money was great. It was $500.
Yes.
$500 for an hour.
Yeah.
That was great. It was in Brooklyn. And then it really got interesting because they told us that the party was for a woman named Xavier Hollander. Now, for those of you who are young, or you probably never heard of her, but in the 1970s, she wrote a book called The Happy Hooker.
That's right.
And this book sold 20 million copies. It was a #1 bestseller, and she was really huge in the 70s. And it was a pretty risque book. I mean, it was pretty...
Yeah. I mean, she laid out what it takes to be a successful hooker.
She's originally from Holland, and... and I had read the book in the 70s. I jerked to that book, actually. I'm not 100% sure. I think I jerked to it. I probably was just jerking while I read it.
Yeah.
So we were pretty excited. And the guy, the couple said they'd get back to us, and they did. And everything was set up. And I remember it was a Saturday night again. And we did it after the gig.
I wore sexy little halter top dress.
It was perfect because it was late. It started at like 11, and we could do our show at Sweet Rhythm, and because that show would be over. And we went to Brooklyn, and it was in Boerum Hill, and I used to live at one point in my life in Boerum Hill, so this was like, I felt like, wow, this is great, the Happy Hooker.
Home, right?
I'm going to get to meet the Happy Hooker. And we've had a lot of experience dealing with people in the, from Al Goldstein.
In adult attainment,
Larry Flynn.
Grandpa, remember Grandpa?
Larry Flint, one of the great defenders of freedom of speech, he loved us. Al Goldstein used to run our ad on his show. I mean, so porno people have always taken a liking to us, and we've taken a liking back.
Absolutely.
Because we never got much support from anyone else, so they loved us. So I'm really excited to meet the Happy Hooker. So we get to her house in Brooklyn. It's a brownstone, nice place. And we get into the living room, and it was very small.
That surprised me, how tiny that living room
was. Tiny.
Yeah.
And there were maybe 8 people there. The couple that we met from Sweet Rhythm, and then there were 6 people. And, they were all kind of drinking, and I think they were even smoking some weed. And
very
relaxed. Huggy. Everybody was very huggy. And then we found out, actually, that after our show, they were going to do like a swingers thing. But... they asked us if we were interested. We were like, no, we're not swingers. Definitely not swingers.
Swingers.
So anyway, we finally meet the Happy Hooker. Now she comes out. She's a Dutch woman, and to me, Dutch kind of sounds German. Like when she starts talking, they have a similar. Maybe it's not, but to me, if I hear that sound right away, I'm afraid they're going to put me on a train going to the camps.
You got nervous.
Like a German woman, when they start talking, I start, where are my papers? I start getting nervous, and I could pick up
how black people feel.
I do know.
America,
I do know.
Okay.
I do know now. I never knew before, but now I do know.
Never knew before.
I do know now, and anyway, now I know. And I knew that night, and sometimes when you meet somebody, I was picking up a vibe off of her, and I was like, I wasn't really feeling her vibe, and I was a little disappointed because I was thinking that this was going to be...
She'd be like the book, right?
Plus, the people had told us that she ran a theater in Amsterdam, and we're thinking, okay, Amsterdam,
we could perform, move there, would be great.
So anyway, we start our act, and we're supposed to do an hour, and basically, I would say maybe 10 minutes in, she stops us.
Like Diana Ross, stop!
Like, whoa, that was weird. And she goes, race. I don't want to hear nothing more about race. So when she said that, I'm thinking, well, we're all white except for you. Everybody in the room was white. So what she was really saying was she didn't want to hear about blacks.
No, nothing about
she didn't want
blacks.
that.
No,
and I was like, whoa.
No,
and
about blacks.
The vibe got really weird and
uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable. And to make a long story short, she paid us.
Yeah, we got our money. I don't care what she didn't want to hear about.
And we left. Yeah. And I remember feeling on the train ride, and we took the train, and I was like, I can't believe that we were inappropriate for the Happy Hooker. I mean, this is a hooker. This is a woman who wrote a book about golden showers.
But that's what can trick you, because you can think because people are into that they're not racist. And she didn't know the problems. She didn't know none of this exists.
It was pretty intense. I mean, it was pretty intense. And so, whenever you get a gig that's it's not a normal gig. Like, playing in we've done that other times too when we played in people's houses. Yeah. It's always a little weird, but they always pay. So if you pay us, we'll play in a pizzeria. Yeah. We're not like,
Well, isn't it kind of like Obama brought Wanda Sipes in, and then everybody bitched and moaned because of comedy? And it's like, comedy is a funny thing. It depends, you're in with other people, and then you do your thing because they say
But this wasn't other people. We were the only act. I mean, there was going to be a swing show afterwards, but we didn't even stay for the swinging. We went home, but that's what I'm trying to indicate, that when you're doing these unusual gigs. So we had a gig yesterday. It was booked last week. So tell them about our gig.
Okay, so everybody comes on Zoom, right? And we're waiting. And we are so shocked because...
Where are we?
First of all, I'm going to explain it to you. Okay. It was the Democratic Christmas party, okay?
Let me make it a little clearer.
Chelsea Democratic Christmas party.
It was a Democratic club.
Yeah.
And they were having their Christmas party. And as she said, it was a Chelsea-based club.
Yes. So these were like people who wanted to... there were a lot of politicians that were coming on saying Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Feliz Navidad.
People who are running for office, for DA, for judge.
Yes.
So we were one of the acts, and we were the comedy act.
Yes. So we did 2 6-minute slots. We were number 2 and we were number 7. And we went on after people. And the thing that freaked us out is that we went on after Chuck Schumer. It was like Chuck Schumer
was our opening act.
Was our opening act, right?
Chuck Schumer was our opening act.
Yes,
I mean, just the thought of that. Now he was in Washington. It was just before the vote yesterday for the.
So he's looking at the board.
He's looking to see.
The vote.
And
now,
I'm sitting there and
wait. So I'm like, okay, this is a good paying gig. I'm thinking this to myself, right? Chuck is talking, and then we get you know how they chat on the side. Epstein and Hassan, be ready to unmute. You're up next. So I look out the side of my eye. I'm like, okay, Epstein is going to say something. He's going to turn into Peter fucking Griffin and start saying shit to Chuck Schumer and all these Democrats there, and he's going to blow our gig. So as she was saying, you know, saying it to me, and I typed, and it's like, okay, it's time for you to come on. I gave him that wife look. Like, you fuck this up and I will kick your ass, okay? Forget talking to Chuck Schumer. I mean, I was holding his hand under the table like this. Like,
so you have to understand, I have burned a lot of bridges. I'm a burn the bridges guy.
Yeah.
That's been the story of my life. And she knows how I feel about Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. She knows. You see, it's very easy for people to attack Donald Trump. You know, it's very easy to see that Donald Trump and George W. Bush, that the Republicans, but especially Trump. I mean, everybody. It's so easy to see why you would hate Donald Trump and why you would want to attack him. Now, Chuck Schumer, on the other hand, is a Democrat, and he's supposed to be a progressive. But I know the truth about Chuck Schumer, and I know the truth about Nancy Pelosi, that they don't represent progressive views. They represent Wall Street views. The Democratic Party has some progressives in it, but in general, they're a Wall Street party. Now, this particular club is a progressive club. It's in Chelsea, so you would think they would be a progressive club. But Chuck Schumer was speaking. Now, in Hassan's defense, although she grabbed me, she hurt me when she grabbed me, and I knew she didn't want me to say anything.
No, he was going to turn into Peter Griffin. I could not have that.
You know, but I didn't do it. I didn't do it. As a matter of fact, I didn't do it at all. But you know, I do have my very strong views, and she knows my views. Like, to me, there is no such thing as a left in the United States. Who we call on the left, people like Bernie Sanders and Alexandra Ocasio, they're not. They're just moderates. I mean, they're basically Franklin Delano Roosevelt Democrats. They're not on the left. There's no such thing as the left.
We couldn't handle the real
in
left.
The United States.
We couldn't handle it.
You know, people who believe in unions and black rights and reparations, the things that I'm interested in. But I didn't do it. I stuck to the script.
We stuck to the script.
I stuck to the script, and we did some kind of outrageous stuff, right?
Yeah. Now, remember, this is progressive, right? And when we finish, all we kept seeing on chat was, that was hilarious. Woo, wow. So we started thinking, you know.
Not only hilarious, there were people saying that it was a little bit over the top.
Yeah,
it was what was the word they kept using? Not blue.
Raw.
Not raw. Oh, I can't even remember the word. It's a word. Anyway.
But
what was great was when we finished, we did a piece, which we're going to do a little bit of it in a minute for you as well. It comes from our book. And in that piece, we use the F word quite a bit. And we talk about a bunch of things. So when we finish, then the next person on is the state senator from New York. His name is Brad Holyman.
Yeah.
And he comes on right after us, and he basically starts his act. He
says,
starts
look,
his spiel. I get fucked a lot. I think he's gay. I don't know if he's gay, but he said, he didn't say he fucked. He said, I get fucked
a lot.
And he starts talking about all the stuff that we said in our
Now, we didn't know if he
6 minutes.
was talking about he got fucked just because of politics or he got fucked because of his lover.
But what was really interesting thing was the married thing. The married thing was, you know, when your wife, after 33 years, she can give me a look, and I knew this look. Her look was, if you say anything about negative about Chuck Schumer, I am going to not give you pussy for the rest of your life.
Rest of your life.
And you're very old, and nobody else wants to give you pussy.
Right.
I'm about it.
That's right.
So I got that look.
I understood it. And the thing was, okay, let's say we did that. where's that leading us? What's that gonna go?
But years ago, that didn't matter to me. I had to say what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Now I've changed. Like,
Yeah.
I knew even before you gave me the dirty look.
Yeah.
I was like listening to him, and he's telling me he's gonna fight for this, and
He's
gonna
fighting
fight for that.
us.
And I was like, you know,
and
Chuck.
I want to go on and say, excuse me, then why didn't you get us more than what is it, $300?
$600. Just think about this.
Yeah.
They gave trillions, not billions, trillions to Wall Street. They gave people $600. This is the
pathetic.
And not even getting it to people before the holiday.
Yeah.
30 million people are going to be evicted.
Homeless.
But anyway, Chuck Schumer's out there fighting for us, and I thank Chuck.
Yeah.
I even thanked him, right?
Yeah.
And I say,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
Chuck,
We
you know,
thank you.
you're from Brooklyn, I'm from Brooklyn.
The black
you're,
and the Jew,
you're
thank
a Jew.
you. Yeah.
And that was that. So this is the piece we did. The first part of it. The second part we did we did the. The piece where she beats me and fucks me up the ass because it's Black History Month.
Important. And I said to them, look, all you Democrats out here, right? You changing policies and laws. Why is it black folks? We got 28 days in February.
Right. She did say that.
I did say that.
She challenged them on that.
They're like,
see, but what's interesting is these are progressives, and in Chelsea, that's like a very, it's a gay community.
It's not.
But even to them on the chat thing, there were some people that risque.
Yeah.
Whoa, they're very risque.
Yeah,
whoa.
Yeah.
You never know. Everybody's so politically, and I even warned them before you did the piece of fucking me up the ass during. I warned them, if you're super politically correct, you should, maybe, go have a cocktail, because everybody's in their apartment. You're doing this on Zoom, which is a weird way to do comedy. But you could see people laughing, though, in the boxes, which made me feel good, because in the YouTube show, you never know. Nobody. You just
because
talking,
nobody's being real.
You're just talking to this.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's like nobody's being real, and we were just real and honest.
As we are trying to be right now. So Hassan, what we're going to do in future shows is we're going to give relationship advice. That's basically been the shtick we do in our live show. If you have any questions about relationships, just send them to us. You go to the Black and the Jew, what is it? The Black Jew Love at AOL.com. And that's our email, and we'll get it. So, if you have any relationship questions, please send them to us at blackjewlove@AOL.com. But we figured we'd start that off ourselves tonight by teaching people the key to how do you have a happy marriage.
So, what do you think the ingredients are? What do you need? It's in our technology, Black Jew Love. And it's real simple. It's called the 3F's. Food, fucking, and forgiveness. These are 3 of the most powerful things you need in a relationship. Why? All right, I want you to think about this. Let's look at the first one, food. Let's say you come home, right? You are exhausted. You open the cabinet, there's nothing in there. You open the refrigerator, ain't a damn thing in there. Or just dealing with COVID right now, you're at home in your apartment, you are just too goddamn exhausted to even want to look at cooking. Your partner comes home and they're hungry, and you say, I can't cook. But you know what you do? You fuck them real good, and then order up Uber Eats, and they will forgive your ass for anything. You ain't need to cook.
The 3F's, food, fucking, and forgiveness.
Right.
So you didn't have food.
Right? So you fuck them.
They forgave you.
And they forgave you.
That's one of the key things. Very important. So.
Yes. Now, let's say another thing happens where, your partner comes home, right? And, you fucked them really good recently. Really good. That kind of fuck that they end up in the chair, shaking, looking at you like, damn. So they want some more, but you tired. All right? You tired. So you cook them one of their good meals that they like. Clams with linguine and white sauce, right?
Linguine with white clam sauce.
White clam sauce.
It's like Noam Crosby.
Yeah, that's
She's
his
like
stuff. I don't like that stuff, but that's what he likes, right? So you cook him that meal. You ain't got to fuck him because he's going to go to sleep after that meal.
So he'll forgive you.
And he'll forgive you. So, it's really important, food in a relationship. And we don't care what kind of food you eat. Share your food with your partner. And fucking is really important. Sometimes fucking is just this. whatever it is for you and your partner, because don't forget our philosophy. Everybody deserves to come in a relationship.
And forgiveness, that's the key.
Oh,
If you ask us, how did we stay together for 33 years? We learned forgiveness. Because if you don't forgive, you develop grudges.
yeah.
And grudges are basically anger. And anger is a deluded mind. Anger has no good qualities.
None.
But we don't believe that. The angry part of ourselves is telling us, fuck that. You tell her that she's wrong. You tell her that she's wrong. And if you don't tell her, you hold on to it, but the anger simmers and simmers. Right? You keep repeating it like on a loop, what she did. You repeat it over and over. And all that does, physically, it gives you strokes, high blood pressure, heart attacks. Mentally, have you ever noticed when you're angry, you don't even taste your food? You just wolf the food down. You eat a meal, you don't even taste it.
No.
You can't sleep. Like a lot of you people out there that can't, insomnia, the Buddhists would tell you, look at your anger, look at your anxiety. Even words that we use, like I'm stressed, I'm anxious, according to Buddha, those are all really anger. That's anger inside of you. So you have to learn to forgive. And in the word forgive is the word give. You give away your anger. And in Buddhism, they have an interesting term. They say, accept the defeat, offer the victory. Unbelievably hard to do, especially in a marriage, right?
Yeah, and the reason we say we can give you relationship advice is because we take our delusions, we take the things about us, and we put it on the table. It's not always comfortable. It is not always comfortable. Let's say just for me, just to look at being defensive. I'm a master at that. And it is not always comfortable. I'm fortunate to have a partner in my life that will call me on my shit, and I have to look at it. I call him on his shit, and he looks at it. But you look at it with forgiveness and a loving eye.
And the key thing is to let it go. You see, that's the thing. Your anger is going to appear in your mind, even if you practice, meditation. Anger arises, but it's what do you do with it? If you hold it or lash out, then it's not good. It's not good for your mind. It's not good for your body.
I'm going to go answer the door, but I'm going to give this advice to women, okay? Men, I don't know how much men do this. Ladies, if you and your partner have an argument, don't do that shit of cutting off sex. Who's suffering?
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else. Don't talk to your girlfriends about your husband.
No.
You learned that really early on.
My mom taught me that shit.
No, your mom.
Yeah.
It was when your friend came over.
Oh, yeah. Well, also, one time, he's sitting there, he had just come in from the gym, and he had on sweatpants. And one of my friends...
Oh, not that one.
Well, which one then?
When I first met her, occasionally the night before...
I'm going to go get the door.
I'll tell her while you're gone. Occasionally the night before, I might have been out there, partying. And
yeah, he was. In
those days, you're talking about 30... This is before we were married. Like, I would get pretty fucked up. And, I'm a night guy. I work late, and you get out of work at 4, and then you start partying at 4. You don't really finish partying till like 7, 8 o'clock. And I had just got home, and... maybe it's not even 2 o'clock yet. It's like really early. For me, it's super early. She invites a friend of hers over here for brunch. And we have the same tiny apartment. And I'm like, and what happened was, I'm not going to lie, I was grouchy. I wasn't really nice to her friend. And Hassan is sort of, defending her friend against me and telling her friend certain things about me. And then her friend threw it back in her face later on. And we both came to realize that it's not a good idea to talk bad about your partner because you're giving people ammunition. Now, truthfully, I could have been nicer, but I was kind of cranky and bitchy, after a night of, serious partying and serious crashing. The best way to end your partying years as you get old like me is that you no longer want to crash. I mean, it's that simple. I don't know what programs people need. I call it Crash Anonymous. After so many years of waking up, like just feeling so crappy, you're very willing to give up those habits. And now, is that a knock?
Yeah.
All right. So our guest Truth-telling, dirty truth-telling guest, a very big favorite of our audience. We get a lot of people telling us to bring him on all the time. Please welcome the great Joe Keys. Joe. The great Joe Keys, folks. The great Joe Keys. Hey, Joe, how are you, man?
Man, I got my scarf on because it's cold outside, man.
All right.
Awful close here tonight, man. What's up? Yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm fine. How are you?
I got my hat fixed, man.
So I want to ask you one political question. I know you always come on with stuff that you want to talk about, but you know we're involved right now with Trump threatening.
Hate that motherfucker.
He's threatening that he wants to throw a coup d'état. He wants, people are encouraging him to declare martial law. I have an opinion, a strong opinion on this. What do you think? Do you think Trump is going to try this?
No, man, this is what I
coup
think.
d'état?
First of all, that sounds like a song Harry Belafonte would sing.
Coup d'état?
Yeah. And secondly, he is the biggest con artist, man.
Right, baby.
He is doing this shit to raise money, and these motherfuckers are giving him that money.
He made over $200 million.
Can you believe that
I do
shit,
believe it.
man? He is just, and I heard he want to do the Apprentice show again, man.
See, to me, what he's doing is just a scam. He's scamming because his loyal followers. The guy lost by 7 million votes, you mental midgets. 7 million votes.
Yeah.
There's 3 Supreme Court justices that are basically Nazis that he put on the court. Bill Barr, another Nazi.
Well, see,
none of these people
look
are.
He left him, man.
Barr left him.
Yeah,
Barr left him because he's so bad, Trump. But I don't think Trump. First of all, I don't think he's smart enough to pull off a coup d'état. Because you need support.
But he got the people around
He's
him.
got some lunatics like Giuliani and shit like that.
Yeah,
I don't think Trump has the balls. Because if he tries to pull off a coup d'etat and he fails, that's called treason. And treason, they hang you in America. And he is Mr. Law and Order. He's killed 5 black people since he lost the election with capital punishment. 5 people, him and Barr are killing people left and right.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just wanted to find out. So you don't think he's going to try a coup d'etat?
He might, man. You don't know about him because, see, he's one of these people. You think that you know him, that he's not. Everybody's always shocked. This motherfucker is going to go till you stop him.
Well, he got stopped. He lost the election. He's lost
though.
Because he's making money. I don't think he's going to really try this.
He ain't stopped yet. And they want him in Florida. Take him. Take his ass.
So what do you have to say, Joe? I just needed I don't like to talk too much about Trump.
All right. I got a couple things, man. Number one, this whole new robots taking over shit, man.
You heard our show with the robots.
Yeah. I'm real bothered by that shit. I don't like it. I like human touch, man.
Yeah, me too.
And I just want to tell you, I watch National Geographics, right? Now, yeah, I do watch it sometimes for the titties. I mean, you get to see titties from every country, and I'm an equal opportunist, right? And I just noticed, man, something that it really bothered me. First, I'm going to talk about what I saw on National Geographic, man. I don't have no fucking kids, right? I put a grocery bag on my dick. Ain't nobody bringing my babies in there. Fuck that shit. But I noticed something. This scientist was saying, like, when I was out playing with a kid, my mother sent our ass, our parents sent us outside. They tell you go outside and play. When I put my head out the window, I better be able to see your ass. So you outside playing, right? So let's say you playing, train shit, right? You make the sound as a train, choo-choo, right? You playing cowboys and Indians till you understood what that shit was. You was the cowboy, bang, bang, I shot you, motherfucker. You a superhero, right? Shh, you made the sound they said kids today. Because the toy, right, is making the sound of the train. These motherfuckers don't even make any noise when they were playing with toys. Now, they don't know how. The kid ain't got no imagination.
This is a big problem. I know what you're saying. Like all these games now, they
do all the work. What kind of shit is that, man?
It's preparing for the new world, Joe. The new world is not going to be the same like we lived in. It's going to be more machine. human.
Well, I just remember, on the train, right? You see all these young kids like that. Man, when we was on the subway, we was trying to look up women's dresses, trying to get a hustle. Would take me, man. I went to CVS, right? I wanted to pick up a few things, my apartment. Now, I want you to know places like CVS, Whole Food, not too much Trader Joe, because they're a little young, but, if you over 18, fuck it. I meet a lot of women in there. Especially CVS. I got some good hookups. Get the discount
You
shit.
like those minimum wage women.
I like them women. You know why? Because they appreciate
They do
shit,
appreciate
man.
it. They don't make enough money.
You rub their fucking feet, they'll fix you an 8-course meal.
Yeah.
Give me a CVS woman any goddamn time. Like them women. Well, that she's sending me over to, the machine. Self-service. I said, look, I don't fucking work here. I didn't come in the store to work. I don't like that shit.
No, I hear you, man. I hear you, but this is the new world we're living in. This is the world, man. It's all machines.
You know how many women I had that, like, the token booth women.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them, they're hardcore. You look and wink at them and baby, you know what? I know you work hard. You're on nothing, Take them out, rum and go. A little dinner. Come back, man.
Did you pay for the dinner? Because you used to tell me you like to go Dutch.
They had discounts, man.
Discounts.
Discounts. Yeah. Discounts. We go to Junior's.
Cheesecake, man.
BB, what that barbecue place?
Yeah, Dallas barbecue.
Dallas barbecue. Yeah. CVS
You're a big
women.
spender, aren't you?
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Get them big damn drinks. They sitting there, ooh, I'm feeling good. I'm like, oh yeah.
Hey man, we were running out of time, but me and Hassan, we had a gig.
Shit, I was going, man.
We had a gig last night, man, a paying gig.
Finally,
with
man.
the Democrats, and finally.
Get the fuck out.
Now you're a drummer, man. It must be hurting you too with these gigs,
Yeah. You was killing me, man.
Yeah, I know the jazz musicians are playing
But
everywhere.
I've been doing some shit online teaching. A lot of these young white kids want to get some rhythm in it.
They want authentic. You're
Yeah,
very
authentic,
like
yeah.
the New Orleans style, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Joe Keys. Thank you so
If you
much.
work at CVS, call me.
Joe Keys,
Yeah.
Dirty Truth Teller.
That's right, man.
The artistic director of the Dirty Truth Tellers, the great Joe Keys. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for tonight. I do want to remind people, because we really need some questions. We want to give you relationship advice. We've 33 years, a black and a Jew. What are the odds? What are the odds? We're still having great sex. We have, no money. We live in this dumpy apartment, and we still get along. So we must know what we're doing. And the 3 keys are food, fucking, and forgiveness.
No, Joe, I
Food,
never worked at
fucking,
CVS.
and forgiveness. Oh, she's back. Hassan is
He wants
back.
to know if I ever worked at CVS.
Yeah, he's
Why?
got this thing about CVS women.
Oh.
So anyway, Hassan, I
Yes.
kind of lost track. I don't know what the timing thing is,
That's
but
okay,
we'll just go
sweetheart.
for it. And did you enjoy the show tonight?
I love the show.
I have one thing before we go. I told people we'll give a shout out. Last week, that guy Earl, now I know who it is. He sends me a thing about my hair, like that I look like Larry Fine from the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
Now, last week's show, if you saw it, the lighting, hopefully the lighting isn't bad tonight, but last week the lighting was horrific. I looked like the Joker. I mean, it was so bad that we felt like, should we put this up? But we promised people that this show is going up no matter what. No editing. So I looked horrific. I mean, really terrifying. But we put it up. This guy, Earl, he writes, like, why
does Epstein look like
Why does he look like the Joker? He called me the Joker. He said the difference between you and the Joker is that the Joker won the Academy Award.
Yes.
He thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Earl, that wasn't funny. Fuck you, Earl. Remember that Al Goldstein? Maybe we should bring that back. Give him the finger. This is for you, Earl.
Yeah.
Everybody, this show won't be up by Christmas. No, it won't. So hopefully you have a great Christmas.
Yeah. And be mindful, if you can't travel, go with your families. That's okay. Be safe, everybody.
Be safe.
And don't overspend.
Definitely don't overspend. And definitely don't overspend.
No.
Because that's the only power we have right now.
We have
to stop spending. That's the only way they're going to
Masturbate if you feel like you want to spend something.
Exactly. So we're Epstein and Hassan, and please don't go anywhere because the Jackies
They
have something to say about tonight's show.
Yeah.
Well, look at what you did, man.
Hey, knocked over
Knocked the light over. Jeez.
What'd you think of the show, Jackie?
Well, I just want to know a few things. I'm just asking. Joe Keys is talking about watching National Geographic and watching kids. I mean, is that appropriate?
What are you saying?
I'm not saying nothing.
Joe
I'm not
Keys is
saying
hanging out,
shit.
watching kids play with toys?
I'm not saying shit.
Oh, that does sound pretty bad,
I'm
doesn't
not
it?
saying nothing.
You know, Joe Keys, he's gonna get us in trouble.
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with him?
You know, but that was a good show. I really enjoyed hearing about the 3F's.
Yes, food, fucking, and forgiveness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very important. And plus, I was happy to see they had a show, a gig.
Finally.
Finally,
We were
after
like, are we
9 months.
gonna have to go out and work and these motherfuckers
These
have
two,
to
they
leave
can't get
this
a gig.
apartment?
You know, and the YouTube thing, could you people please subscribe?
Oh, they're driving us
They
crazy.
need
Please.
100 subscribers to get
Please
something.
help us out.
We're the Jackies.
Yeah.
Kids.
Fuck 'em.